Hey guys, welcome to the movie. Today we're doing drama. Now this is a movie featuring obviously Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. This is a movie that doesn't seem like you might think, oh, this is a movie that seems like a you movie. First of all, I like Robert Pattinson, not alone. I'm like, he's in a movie, cool, I'm down to go see it because Robert Pattinson's great. And also, I like her, she's good in the Spider-Man movies and whatever else I've seen her in. I've seen her in Spider-Man, this movie, and I want to say I've seen her in some other movies, but I can't remember what they are. But she's great as well, so I'm not gonna complain. I'm kind of think of any other notable actors. I think those are the two. I'm not saying nobody else in the movie's not notable, but those are like the two that like you would know, that at least the only two I know very well. So what's this movie about? Before we do that, general thoughts. It is not the movie. This movie was not 100% what I thought it was. I kind of knew it's called drama, so I figured there'd be some drama in it, and it was, and it wasn't. It was interesting. Not 100% what I thought, but not 100%. I didn't even have a ball of like some type of drama-y stuff, but then it had some stuff I'm like, wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that in this movie. So that's just jump into it. So I think it had some interesting stuff in this movie that I think is interesting. But so let's get into it. If you think of that, I think they had some concepts that I'm like thinking about it. Actually, I was like, that's kind of interesting. How would you navigate that? But we'll get that when we get to that. Boiling ahead, let's jump into this movie. This movie is about obviously starts off with Robert Pattinson's character. He sees Zendaya's character, and I don't know the names of the character. I can't remember the names, but I feel like on the top of my head, if somebody said it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the names. And I can't remember. But she goes over to talk to this girl, and she can't hear because he has one headphone in, and her one ear she can't hear out of. Because he wants to go talk to her, and then he's like, and eventually he's like, what? Oh yeah. Hey, I wanted to say, spoke really great, or say something. Basically, where he's like, they're in a coffee shop, do a cheesy thing where he kind of like picks her up, right? Does the thing that hit on her, picks her up, like kind of like not hit on her, but like try to ask her out or get some information. Cause I like you look something, and then they eventually did the awkward thing. And then, hey, do you want to retry this again? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he goes sit down. If we try it again, they hit it off, and then they obviously start dating and stuff, and they're having a good time. And he walks out of like a museum or something. It's great. It was great and fun. At the beginning, it's like them just starting a relationship, and then we get to the point, and they have friends and stuff, and talking about they're getting married. But then it gets to a point where they're like, hey, what about? They talk about they're at dinner with the two friends, and talk about the worst thing they've ever done. They basically get to the point where what's the worst thing you've ever done? And you find out what people have done, and some of them are not great, really great. But then you find out what Zendaya did. Talks about what she did. And it's the thing that, the other things I'm like, you did when you were younger, I can't really, like, some of the things they did was like, okay, that's maybe not great. But what she did was like, when I was a kid, I almost did a school shooting. That's something I'm like, when you hear that, I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of what the movie goes on to. It's like, she almost did a school shooting, and how Robert Pattinson sees her differently now because of that. She didn't do it, but she almost did. And other stuff, it's like, she didn't do it now, and I'm like, should she be held accountable? Like, it's like almost she being treated differently now because they haven't found out about her. But eventually, I think you would, when you're in a relationship, you would know, you should find out about that. But obviously, I'm like, you didn't do it. My opinion on this is it's very tricky, because I'm like, you were going to do something. You never did anything, so you didn't do anything. You didn't hurt anybody. You didn't do anything. You were going to do something. You didn't do it. You didn't do anything. You didn't kill anybody. Didn't do anything, hurt anybody other than yourself, because you were doing some gun practice outside and stuff, and then boom, she shot like a shotgun by her ear, and that's how one ear blew or got to with bleeding and stuff. That's how she lost her hearing in one ear. She got messing around with guns, but she eventually throws this thing into one. She becomes like an activist, and like, I don't like guns and other stuff. That she basically gets a change after she meets these people and do some stuff, and she basically changes. And I'm like, I think you did change into a nice. You were gonna do something, and then you did, and you changed into a better person. So I'm like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I can understand why somebody hearing you and be like, I don't know, I see you in a different way now, and I think it's very interesting, because it's something that is so like, yeah, that usually be like, if we did do it, I'd be like, we're breaking up. If like, obviously if she did do it, I'd be like a clear no, we're not dating. But she didn't do it, but it's still like such a character saying. And also the one girl's friend is also had a cousin or somebody who was hurt. He's in a wheelchair because of a school shooting. So it's like, she takes it a little personally. I get it. And then throughout the movie, there's just drama goes about him, the main character, Robert Pattinson, is like, I can't think of stuff because I can't think of you without seeing you with the gun and stuff, and seeing, after this, it's like changed my perspective of you, of like, I can't, it's just, how are you gonna do it? All the stuff he keeps he gets more, he acts, and we learn more about what her thought process was, or why she was going to do it, and why she didn't do it, and all that stuff. And then there's a point where he has this other girl he's at work with, the main guy, Robert Pattinson character, and he almost not kissing and does stuff, and then almost does something, but then doesn't. He's like, no, I can't do it, this is wrong, So I feel like he does feel wrong about that, and then stuff comes out at the wedding about all kinds of stuff, and it's like, yeah, well, the wedding gets crazy, and that's the point where I'm like, yep, all the shit goes through stuff at the wedding, and all this stuff happens, and all this crazy shit happens, and fights break out, and all this stuff, and it's crazy, but at the end, It says them both in this place, little like diner place or whatever. And it feels like at the end they're like, hey, kind of like, I feel like they make amends at the end, like, hey, let's start over from the beginning, and they all, I can get to where like, okay, we're okay with each other now. I feel like at the end they got to a point where like, okay, we understand each other, we're good now. And I feel like where it ended. And I'm like, okay, that's good. So it went through all this drama stuff, it's a crazy movie, but they went through in the end, they make it out okay. It seems like at the end they're gonna get together and gonna be okay. Like, I'm okay, I know what you did, and I know you're fine now. Whatever the case may be, they're gonna be okay. So it's like, yeah, okay, I liked it. Good movie, actually, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give me a 9. Because the part about the school, I wasn't expecting that at all, and that being like a big part of the movie about how he does not sees it differently because of that and all this stuff. It's very interesting. How would you, if you found out you were dating somebody and that something they did something like that, or did something also, it doesn't have to be that, something really bad like that, or almost did something really bad. I'm like, how do you see them differently now? Just because they did it back when they were younger or something differently? How do you still like them? Does it change your perspective? It's just very good, and the movie drama makes sense. All the stuff that happens in the movie is great. I like this movie. It's really good. I would recommend it. Even though it's not like, there's a little, I guess, acting notes, some punch thrown or some stuff, but not like, this is a more of a drama, but it's one that's enjoyable to watch. It's good. I like it. What you guys think of drama? Let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, I can actually, I can see you next week, guys. Bye.